Right, welcome back. Today our focus is the trial of Jacob Zuma and Thulas in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. Thulasizwe Simelane and senior reporters Sipamandla Goge and Dasan Thatia are outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court covering that event for us in detail. Thulas, I'm going to come to you as we talk about the very important pleas former President Jacob Zuma and French arms company Thales both pleading not guilty. Let's start with the significance of the plea process.
It is a huge moment, coming 16 years from the date when former President Jacob Zuma was first charged. It really is a giant leap in as far as this matter is concerned. Many of us who have followed this matter at some point really didn't think that it would get to this stage where you have an official and a formal plea by former President Jacob Zuma answering the question, Mr. Zuma, how do you plead to the charges? The moment came at 10:47 exactly on the 26th of May 2021. It was a huge moment in this particular matter to hear him formally say that I plead not guilty. He has been saying, of course, in the court of public opinion that he is not guilty of the charges, but for the first time this is now official and basically makes it official that he intends to defend himself and he intends to present a defense against the charges leveled against him. And in a way, Anlie, this came as a bit of a surprise, right? Just how quickly it came that this huge moment, there wasn't much thunder and hail and a storm around it and hurricanes around it. It came in less dramatic fashion than many would have expected, in that when we came here we were expecting technicalities that will be bogged down on the technicality of that plea in terms of section 1061H of the Criminal Procedure Act, and we had thought that would dominate proceedings. But what happened? That was put on the back burner to the 19th of July, with the result that nothing stood in the way, in the absence of those technical arguments being heard today. Nothing stood in the way of an official guilty, not guilty plea being entered by former President Jacob Zuma, which he did. And it is a big moment in this particular matter, a big moment in the history of this country.
Thulas, also significant today, a lot of support for the former president, a lot of people speaking to us at eNCA before the court proceedings got underway. What are sentiments outside the courthouse as those proceedings are currently underway, and now that we have heard the plea from Jacob Zuma?
So let me take a moment then, Anlie, and show you the scene outside. That's a camera shot that we have for you now on the street that's just in front of the High Court here in Pietermaritzburg. It's a bit of a carnival atmosphere, I must say, with many people who are clad in those MKMVA fatigues and carrying flags of the ANC, marching up and down the street and chanting as well. We're seeing people clad in ANC colors and other people who are associated with the clergy and various segments of society who have come to show their support for former President Jacob Zuma. He is, of course, we can expect, as per tradition, that he's likely to speak to his supporters at the end of the day. And I do expect that the report that he'll be giving them will basically entail the significance of the moment that he has officially pleaded not guilty to the charges. The technicalities of whether or not Prosecutor Billy Downer has title to prosecute and is fit and proper to continue with the prosecution have now been pushed back to the 19th of July. The prosecution signaling that they are working on their response in as far as an affidavit is concerned to what has been put up by Mr. Zuma's legal team, and they will compile that and they will have to brief senior counsel in that Billy Downer himself cannot be the one arguing that particular matter because he is the subject of that particular argument, those arguments that are being presented. So that's the state of play then in as far as that is concerned. But a huge moment, I must say, Anlie. Many people have been involved in this. I mean, you can go back all the way to the NDPP, National Director of Public Prosecutions back then, was Bulelani Nguka. How many NDPPs have we had since then that have come and gone, have grappled with this matter? The various applications, some of them were civil applications that had to do with the spy tapes, the dropping of the charges, and coming back, and the case coming back on track in 2018 to finally be at the point at which former President Jacob Zuma wanted his day in court to prove his innocence. Well, he's just said that he's not guilty of the charges, and we are up and running in as far as state versus Zuma and another.
Thank you very much for that, Thulas.